Welcome back, everyone. Betska, the Guru Coach, together with Raj Vashisht and our delightful guest, Paloma Baertschi. She is from Switzerland. I forgot to mention that before. And we are having a fascinating conversation on animal communication. And it's one of those topics that we rarely discuss. And I would love to see this conversation around every dinner table, right? Parents and kids, like, let's have a discussion, because chances are the children, right, can communicate with animals. And then maybe as we get older, we kind of lose it. I'm not sure. But do you think we do, Paloma? Do you think?
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't think we lose it. I said before, telepathic communication is like a language. Basically,
Yeah.
we come into this world with that language. As a
Mm.
baby, we communicate on a conscious level telepathically with our environment. Now,
Yeah.
every mother knows before the baby cries, she already knows what's going to happen. She already knows what the baby needs. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
that
true.
has a lot of mothers have confirmed that to me. That, yeah, I
Yeah.
already know, just before the baby starts to cry, I know now it's going to start crying, and that's what it
Mm.
wants. So I always say there is a conscious telepathic communication and there is unconscious telepathic communication. And the unconscious telepathic communication is on all the time. That's when, for
Ah,
example,
okay.
you think of somebody and then the phone rings and this somebody is on the phone.
Mm.
So, or for example, you live with your partner and your partner goes grocery shopping and you give him a list and you have forgotten to put bread on the list. And then all of a sudden, oh, I have to call him because I have forgotten to put bread on the list. And the phone is off, so you can't call him. So you keep thinking, oh, but we really need bread. And then your partner comes back home and says, look, honey, bread was not on the list, but I just bought it. I don't know why.
Yeah.
There's a web connection, wavelength connection.
It
That's
happens with me, my husband and I all the time, right? He comes home and I said,
Yes.
I really wanted to tell you to get this, but I forgot. And he said, oh no, I just knew. So,
exactly. So this is what I call unconscious telepathic communication. And that happens all the
ah,
time. And that
yeah,
also happens between humans and animals. So
got it.
that's a flow that goes. But what I'm talking about here is the conscious telepathic communication, like the intended dialogue between
Mm,
two beings.
mm,
Now, the baby comes into this world with that ability to consciously communicate on a telepathic level. The
mm.
adults pick it up on an unconscious level. Now,
Right. Yeah.
very quickly, the baby finds out I have to learn this sound thing here because otherwise I'm not going to be able to communicate. So they start learning the verbal language.
Mm,
Now,
mm.
what happens to a language that you learn, but you don't use anymore? You don't lose it. You don't forget it. You just put it in a drawer and store it away. Because what happens when you, let's say you have French at school, and then you haven't talked French for over 20 years, and then you go to France or to the French speaking part of Canada, and then all of a sudden you start to hear French and you start to understand French, and in a couple of days' time, you start speaking French again. Which
True.
means you
It's
you
true.
haven't lost it, you haven't
Yeah.
forgotten about it, you just put it in a drawer and stored it away.
Mm,
And the
yeah.
same thing has happened for most people with the telepathic conscious communication.
Mm,
They came into this
mm-hmm.
world with the ability to communicate on a conscious level telepathically. They found out very quickly that this isn't going to work, so they stored it away and learned the verbal language. So the good news is You don't have to learn anything new. You just have to find the right drawer and take it out again and start communicating on a telepathic level.
Oh, you're too funny. I love it. Oh, that's great. Listen, I want to talk about animal feelings because I definitely know animals have feelings. And so, how do you know? How can we teach others, if it's possible, that animals have feelings?
Well, as I said, telepathic communication is the language of the feelings.
Right.
So
Yes.
if they didn't have feelings, then we wouldn't be able to communicate, and we can communicate on a telepathic level with them. So yes, they have feelings, and they have the same feelings that we have. The difference is they have other priorities.
Other priorities?
They have other priorities. They have the same feelings, but they have other priorities, according to their world, according to their nature. So I can give you an example.
Yeah.
Many years ago, I was helping, in rescuing animals. So I had this rescue dog with me that I was looking, a home for. I was looking for a home for that dog, and I had my own dog, and I had a course that I was teaching somewhere in Switzerland. So I had to drive there. And so I arrived there and I asked my dog, I took a couple of blankets with me, and one was blue and one was red. And I asked my dog, well, do you want the blue one or do you want the red one? Because, I had these two dogs that were accompanying me in the course. So my dog said, I want the red one. I think it was the red one he wanted. So I put the red one in front of me so he could lay down in front of me. And I put the blue one in the back so that the rescue dog could sort of hide a little bit behind me and feel a little bit more safe. So then I started the course. So we were about, 10, 12 people sitting in a circle, and I was started the course. At one point, my dog decided, I don't want to lay on the blanket anymore, so he laid on the floor. And the rescue dog saw that and started to crawl in front and started to go onto that to the red blanket.
Red blanket.
And then my dog saw it, turned around, and actually got at her. I mean, really aggressively. And the rescue dog went to the back again. And I kept teaching. I didn't say a word. I kept teaching. And I had to stop teaching because of the way the people were looking at me. Like, why didn't you say anything to your dog? Your dog just attacked the rescue dog for no reason. That's what they thought.
Yeah.
So I stopped teaching and I told the people, look, I think I have to tell you that before we came here, we had a conversation. I had a conversation with Tony, my dog, and I asked him which blanket he was prepared to give to the rescue dog. I mean, both blankets were his blankets. So which one are you prepared to share? Which one do you want? So he said he wanted the red blanket, and the blue blanket was for the rescue dog. So that's why I set it up the way it was set up. Now, the rescue dog didn't respect that and wanted to come onto the red blanket. And then obviously, Tony, my dog, didn't want that, and that's why he got so aggressive towards that rescue dog. And it was totally okay because it was his blanket. He had already decided that the blue blanket was for the rescue dog.
Right.
And it was not, if I had told Tony off in that moment, it wouldn't have been right. It wouldn't have been right because it was the other dog who had not respected him.
Exactly.
But that whole thing happened on a totally other level than the course participants were seeing. They were just seeing an aggressive dog that attacked a rescue dog that wanted to come onto a blanket, but they didn't see the whole story behind it.
Exactly, yeah.
So once I explained that, then everybody was saying, oh, yeah, right. Sometimes we don't give enough importance to things that for the animals are important.
Right. Oh, that's a good point. So that's a real benefit to communicating with them, right? We want to know what's important to them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So were you teaching a course on animal communication?
Yes.
So that's probably why it happened, so that you would be able to explain to them that, what was happening underneath it all. And that's why you didn't react, why you didn't get upset at Tony. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's excellent. That's great. Thank you. So what other stories do you have on animal communication that, as well as their caregivers, that our viewers might be interested in?
Oh, well, I have tons of stories. I have been doing it professionally for 25 years.
Yeah. How about, do you have a story about the animal person helping the human to heal from a disease or anything like that?
Well, animals often support humans in healing. They also take on stress, or they take on pain and so on. And I have people contacting me and say, can you please tell my animal not to do that? And I must say, I'm sorry, I cannot do that, because if we go back to nature, in nature, when animals live in a group, the most important thing is the group. The survival of the group is the most important. And then comes the individual within the group. But the survival of the group is the most important thing. Now, within the group, you have different team players. And depending on the different team players, one is more important for the survival of the group than others. So they all look after each other. Now, when we have a look at the group, human person and animal person, I mean, even two are already a group. Yeah, so the most important thing is the survival of the group. Now, what is the most important thing for the survival of the group? What is it? Food.
Safety?
Food.
Oh, food.
Now, who is the provider of the food within the animal-human connection? The human.
The human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the animal, then that's why the animal looks after the human, so that the human feels better, so that the human can still provide the food for the group to survive.
Right, yeah.
So that's why you cannot say to an animal, don't take over my stress, don't take over my pain, don't take over. You can't do that. The only way you can get the animal to step back is when the animal sees that you are doing something to heal yourself. You are doing something to get rid of the stress. You are looking after yourself. And when you are looking after yourself, then the animal can step back and say, okay, the human is doing already what he or she can to actually get the situation into balance.
So you don't think that animals will take on diseases from humans? I thought that with at least one of our dog people that she took on some illness so that I would be well. I never asked her or anything, but I just thought that maybe she did.
Yeah, of course she did, because you were the food provider.
Oh.
And the most important thing is the survival of the group. And you are the food provider. You are the team player that has the responsibility to bring on food.
Mm-hmm.
And food is important for the survival of the group.
But what about love? What about unconditional love from animals? How does all that fit in?
Oh, animals love unconditionally, yes. But one thing has nothing to do with the other.
Okay. I'm trying to make that link on, why are animals here? Why are we here? What is our role together on this planet?
Well, I have an animal mentor called Spot. He used to be a rabbit. He's now in spirit. And I'm writing a book with him about consciousness and about many other things. And what he says is everything is consciousness. And by the way, Deepak Chopra says the same thing.
Yeah. Oh, yes, he would. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So everything is consciousness. We are consciousness. Animals are consciousness. Everything is consciousness. And consciousness at one point decided that it wanted to do or to have experiences. We are parts of consciousness making experiences, making different experiences.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And this is what we're here for, to make experiences. And this whole thing is a setup. It's not real. It's not. Basically, what he's saying is when we go into dream world, when we go to sleep, when we dream, that's the reality, really. The outer world is the reflection of the inner world. When we dream, when we dream, we have our, then we are in our inner world. So the outer world is a reflection from the inner world. So it's basically it's an illusion that we are dreaming. We are dreaming what we call reality, basically.
Right. Yeah. Well, I am absolutely sure. And I forgot to mention, folks, that Paloma has written many books, and you can get them on her website, speciesspace.com. And please go and check them out. But before we close this segment, Paloma, we have really covered, gone on different tangents here. And I'm just curious about what would be one important message that the animals would like to leave with our viewers.
Okay. Let me get my animal mentor say a couple of words here.
Okay.
Remember who you are, and then we will all be able to live in peace with each other.
That's perfect. And remember who we are. I mean, humans, despite all of the violence and drugs and everything we see at a heart level, humans are very special beings.
No, we are consciousness.
We are consciousness, yeah.
Remember who you are. You are consciousness. Remember who you are, and then we will be able to live in peace together, because everything and everybody is consciousness.
Yeah. Right. So there's no separation.
There's no separation. We are all one.
Perfect. Paloma, you're a treasure. Thank you for being here with Raj and I today. Raj, do you have any final questions or comments for Paloma?
It's sufficient.
It's sufficient. Yeah, we've covered a lot. Okay, dear one. So we'll have to have you back. So everybody, please, we've got the information everywhere about her website, and you can email her as well. She's happy to provide you with ebooks as well. So be in touch. Okay, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having
Paloma.
me.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. We'll see you again.